getting left unchecked. Coily will just get slashed through by the sprayer.
Play by PS Card.
Okay, tayo. Bro, isa po na tayo. Share ဖြုတ်တဲ့နေ့တော့ချားနေနော်။ငါချားနေလို့ထင်တယ်ဒီလား။ငါချားနေလို့ထင်တယ်။ share ပြန်ဖြုတ်ပြတော့မှာဒီလား။အဲ့နေ့ကမကြည့်လိုက်ရဘူးလို့ပြောလိုက်လို့ YG ကို YG ကိုအဲ့နေ့ YG ကိုအဲ့နေ့ကမကြည့်လိုက်ရဘူးလို့ပြောလိုက်လို့ထင်တယ်ဒီလား။ share ဖြုတ်ပြတော့မှာတားတို့ဘယ်သူပါပြောပြော YG ကတော့ YG ပဲเนาะတားတို့ YG ကတော့ YG ပဲလားYG ကတော့ YG ပါပဲတားယူကြီးတော့ပွဲကြီးပွဲကောင်းတစ်ပွဲလည်းဖြစ်မယ်နော်တို့ e-sport လည်းဖြုတ်မှာပဲနော်ရှေ့ပွဲမှာရှေ့ရိုက်ထားတာဆိုတော့2စီးနဲ့ရိုက်ထားတာဆိုတော့ကွာအထောင်ထားထားဆိုတော့ရှေ့ဖြုတ်မှာကြည့်လို့တော့ကောင်းတယ်တော့ကကြည့်လို့တော့ကောင်းတယ်တားယူဟမ်ပြောနေတာဘလို့ e-sport ကောင်တွေပြောနေတာဘယ်လိုသူအရှုံးကိုလက်ခံတယ်နော်အရှုံးကိုလက်ခံနိုင်တယ်ဒီကောင်တွေဘာညာရောဟာတိုင်းတားယူ Bro e-sport အနေနဲ့တော့4BS ဒီလေးနဲ့ YG အနေနဲ့တော့တားယူဒီမာဆယ်လင်းရင်ဘာညာဘန်းရတယ်ဗောနော်ဒီချင်းနဲ့ခိုင်းโอเคအဲ့တလက်လေးကိုထပ်ဘန်းထားရင်းနဲ့ပဲ Bro e-sport ဘာလုပ်ပြမှာလဲဒီနေ့တော့ဒါပေမဲ့ YG ကတော့ YG ပါပဲတာကြီးနိုင်မို့တော့မမြင်ဘူးငါတော့ YG ကိုနိုင်မယ်လို့တော့မမြင်ဘူးကွာဒီလားကိုတင်းမို့လို့ကိုပြောတာတော့မဟုတ်ဘူးတာကြီးပြ Okay fair လေးထပ်ပဲနေပဲ enemy ဘက်က hero လေးပစ်သွားပြီနော် hero တော့နှခမ်းခက်တယ်ပါတယ်ပွဲရတော့ကကြီးတော့လှမယ်ပွဲတွေပဲလို့ကဲဒီဝိုင်းကြီးတင်းရဲ့တောင်းချောင်းမှာတော့ကျွန်တော်ရင်းကိုအကြိုက်ဆုံးပဲရင်းရဲ့ error ဟန်ရဲ့ Valorant လားဟုတ်လားဟန်ကိုရင်ပစ်လိုက်ရဟုတ်ဘူးဟုတ်တယ်နော်အော်ရင်ရဲ့ brand ဟန်ရဲ့ error တိုင်း sorry မှာပြောတယ် so sun baby ကဲတိုင်းလို့လုံးဝကြည့်လာမယ်ပွဲလေးတွေကွာကဲမင်္ဂလာပါအားလုံးပဲမင်္ဂလာပါခင်ဗျာ YG ကိုအားပေး YG လေးတွေမန်းလို့ရခဲ့တယ်လို့ subscribe လေးနဲ့နှိပ်ခဲ့လို့ရပါတယ်နော် subscribe ပါ9000ပြည့်ပါတော့ခင်ဗျာမောင်ကြီးဝိုးတော်ဘွားရဲ့ခဏလေးတွေ Valorant တိုင်းဟုတ်တယ်နော်ဆက်လီနာ Valorant တွေပါထုတ်နေပြီဒီလိုတွေကတော့လုံးဝကြည့်လာနေကလူးရဖြစ်ပါတယ်တိုင်းတို့ရေdamage ကတော့တိတိရောက်မပါဘူး Harry ထပ်ပန်းထားတယ်တိုင်းတို့လုံးတော့ရောရမှာပဲအဲ့လောက်ကြီးမလွယ်ဘူးတော့ဒါပေမဲ့လေ YG ကတော့ YG ပါပဲလားကဲ fan လေးဘန်းထားရင်းနဲ့ပဲ bro esport ကဲနောက်ထပ်အနေနဲ့ဆိုတော့ YG ဘက်ထပ်ဘန်းရတယ် Okay ကလောက်ဂိုးလေးအနေနဲ့ကလောက်ကိုထုတ်ထားတယ်နော်ဒါ
I want to say it's ego, but Sanji's feeling it. He's feeling it.
I mean, he did have like a pretty good game in game one. I just said pretty good. Don't want to compliment him too much. Remember,
I mean, they've won twice, and now this could be the third time, so nothing has gone wrong when they pick the Claude. So I think a comfort pick, it's available. They ban out the Harith, which is the only other highly prioritized.
Fan တွေကတော့လေးတိုက်နေ Moscow တိုင်း Moscow
Sanji handled the duel against the Moscow.
Fan ကိုရိုက်ခဲ့တဲ့ Moscow နော်
A quick little
ကောင်ကတော့
adjustment
ပစ်
by
သွားပြီ
Cruzen is enough. I wonder if they have room to put this Beleric in the EXP instead and then pick for a different roam pick, but no matter the permutations you think about, Yangon is going to walk away with a great advantage. Bring back an old favorite, Lapu Lapu in the EXP.
you got to be really smart with that Lapu Lapu, man. That CC Immune's going to have to come clutch before the Detonus welcome, before the big chomp. There you go. So last, what was that? Box share, it is box share.
လပူတိုင်းဝေး
YG. Last
အဲ့
pick
ဒီ enemy
is
ဘက်
the
ဖြိုးတော့
Barats.
ခတ်မယ်
Gonna
ကွာ
go into
လ
the
ပူ
jungle.
တို့
They
ဆ
pick
လီ
up
နာ
the
arrow
Nolan
တွေ
here
ဘာညာနဲ့
and
နော်
try to pull the hit out
လ
of.
ပူအမာနဲ့ Valorant ကလည်း damage ကရှိအောင်မှာကွာခွေးကလည်းတက်အောင်မှာ
This Herrera is not going to have a
Hero
good time.
damage တွေအောင်
The
မှာ
lack
တော့
of AoE also from
YG ဘက်ကလ
Yes,
ည်း
I know they have the
ထုတ်လာ
ultimate
တာ
of
တော့
Beleric and
စောင်းပိုင်းနဲ့
technically
ကလောက်
AoE from the
spray ဘာညာ
Lapu Lapu, but a
error
lot of
1 hit
their
တွေဘာ
damage
နဲ့
comes
ရှိအောင်ပဲ
in single targets unless Yangon all decide to line up
Okay.
in 5v5s
Okay.
up against a Moscow, which I don't think they're going to do.
Knowing YG, I want Ying on a carry. I want Ying.
အဲ့ 3Z တဲ့တိုင်း 3Z တဲ့တိုင်းတို့လေးတိုက်ကုန်ပြီ 3Z တဲ့တော့တိုင်းတို့
Suyo!
Wait,
Isn't that
Haven't seen
kind
this one,
of...
guys, is it?
It's kind of weird.
that is weird.
ကဲကဲ
You're fancy for YG.
game 1အနေနဲ့တိုင်းတို့
I love the draft.
စုယူစုယူရလုံးဖြစ်ပါမလားငါစိတ်ထင်
This
တော့
is
နည်းတော့
a
နော်
snowball dependent
ဒါပေ
pick
မဲ့လည်း
now.
သူတို့ဘက်မှာတော့သူတို့ရဲ့
It's not really something that you can.
signature တော့ရှိမှာပေါ့
Back
ဗျာ
then it was guaranteed snowball. Now those nerfs to second skill will hurt him quite a bit in the farming department as well.
Sorry, I'm Felix on the Lapu Lapu. We're going to see the Han. matchup against the Harara with the Suyo. Wow, this is going to be interesting right here.
Very interesting decisions indeed. This could be a messy start for both. And as always with every Baron's pick, that's the X factor.
All right, well, Nice Leo, let us know what you think about this draft. Game 2, Pro Esports hoping it goes a little longer.
They definitely want a longer game here if you're Pro Esports. Now, Yangon Galacticos, they brought out a draft that, yeah, I have to agree with. Looks deadly. Then that Suyo comes back here, Leo. We haven't seen it too much. It kind of fell off a little bit after the nerfs, but maybe this is one of those cases where, you know what, the Harara's got all this mobility. Let me just be this Suyo and try to match it.
Nice, so it's not just the fact that it's Harara on the other side, it's the fact that Pro Esports are now playing with a more active lineup. I agree with Lenoir. Even Randy knows that there's something up with this weird Suyo from out of nowhere.
Yeah, it could definitely struggle, but it's one of those cases where, if anything, Yangon Galacticos has really showed us that they're really good at just playing as a team. You don't play team-centric across the map has worked so well. And yeah, even if we look at the emblems here, it's not too much that we have to worry about on the side of because if Sanji has a similar game to what he had just previously, your Claude's going to scale up much quicker. I don't even have to finish what I was going to say because I was going to talk about how good she's been in this tournament for MSC, but just in the meta in so far past couple weeks even. And you see that, a double kill early on. If you look at the replay brought to us by STC, look at the damage you can do this round. This is why I'm saying it's kind of busted, man. I mean, and then the flick forward to capitalize on the double.
You know, it was real quick up top. Gets it. Are calling all the shots. Retribution holder.
Man, it just got way worse here. Continue to hone in, double down on this. Sorry on Felix. He's just okay, so our concern with the Suyo isn't even the first point to worry about after Pro Esports. Getting another kill off cam.
Chasing Coily and causing kill records from the groups.
He's taking him to the Thunderdome, man. I mean, there's something that you have to be concerned about. And it's just right now, it's all the hands of Kaise because what is happening is her damage profile is already great early on, especially when she hits level 2. You get one item, and you can almost, at this point, with this kind of lead, you can basically just one-shot someone with that combo. Hell, even if you get 2, you're even more of a threat.
Coming in. Scores another. There was no one left.
This might be another quick one. Coily forced to just kind of deal with this pressure on this side of the map. You've got tanky enough heroes too for YG to go ahead and deal with between Ying and Blink. You know, Blink synergistically between the blue and also Kaise and the Eudora. It just, that's enough burst as well. And you can't really escape from that because you're either getting stunned or you're getting dragged back. Just like when we saw the interaction in the previous game. Goes back with the where is that opening? Where's that opportunity then for them to actually get something here? Because originally we thought it would be these arrows with
a perfect arrow. Chances would have been before the turtle or during those early skirmishes, but I don't know, something about Sa and the Yangon being so far up front throws off the accuracy.
You know, the problem is, even if you land an arrow in your Sa, you're gonna get stunned and bursted down anyway. So you have to be able to land it on the right target right now. That's Kaise, and he's playing so well protected. Second turtle up, fight for it.
Coily goes down.
စလီနာတော့မတွေ့တော့ဘူးဗျာနော်မိတ်ကကြီးတွေပါလေဖြစ်ကုန်ပြီနော်နှစ်ကောင်10အောင်တွေပါလေဖြစ်ကုန်ပြီသားကြီး
But the turtle still goes over to the Burmese.
Again, they got
မေဂါရဲ့ second tower ကြီးကိုလိုက်ခဲတာနော်အားဒီပိုင်းမှာလိုက်4မိနစ်မှလည်းကြီးအောင်ပါခဲခဲကြီး
Galacticos is happy to go ahead and just take what they want objective. Now they're going to take some tier 1 turret in the mid. They get a Skyper momentum in this game. You know, all this happening in a 4,000 gold lead at the 5-minute mark. Sanji and Blink and the rest of the team are here. Kaize so deadly with a dangerous grass as well.
Coily looking to take down Blink, takes a few Glulings out on the way. 5.5 minutes in, Joseph. I gotta say, Sanji's been getting the gold lane experience once again.
That's what I was worried about. You see that too, man. That 1,000 gold ahead right now in that gold lane matchup. He's just gonna go ahead and hold his own, but just rely on the rest of the team to be here. He's so aggressive with it too. Against Kozen, needs some more time. Again, playing off the side of the map when it is objective time, but at least this next turn is decided to play around it, but you can just see the clear lead right now that Sanji has as he looks to take down that tier 1 turret. They might just go for a swap here, give up this turret over to YG as they scale in forward.
With 30 seconds before the turtle spawns, I feel like there's just too much on Sa's shoulders. Sai trying to plant snares, Sai trying to throw out lethal arrows on the right target, mind you. It seems to be Blink right now, but even with all these ults thrown out, a little bit of a kill, some respite for Pro.
Yeah, a bit of a baby step in the right direction that Pro Esports needs. Again, they need to slowly build up here in their own favor.
Han is too level up on Coily, despite the man advantage for Pro. The retribution is just so much higher. Yangon will secure this easy peasy.
You know, there's just too much of a threat right now for YG's lineup. And like you said, I think, you know, this is the big part. It's so much responsibility for Sa to land these arrows. You know, usually when we see these Selena's picked up so far through MSC, you're able to play around the arrows, you know, you're able to go ahead and follow through, but that's if you're not down so much in the early game. And so now, your arrows, even if you land them, you don't essentially have this free reign to just go follow up, get that kill, have the team make it, because it's all just a risk up to this point. Still holding up almost 3 levels now against Coily here, this tier 2 being threatened on the bottom side. Junglers up on this top side too. We might actually have 2 fights break out.
Oh, it's not just 2 junglers, it's Ying as well! Iframes on Coily dashing through the wall, but Han pursues Sever to take him down. Coily bites it.
And this is why it sort of made sense that the Suyo came through with the Hirara on the other side. At least in some way or another, you have some mobility options yourself to catch up after those iframes and Hirara's dashing around herself.
I mean, one might argue if Hirara has 4 skills.
Yeah.
1,
he's got 6.
3, 4.
Dash
he's got
6.
Yeah.
I mean, one might argue if Hirara has 4 skills.
Either way, especially since Pro are down so much. And now, as you can see, Kaize has taken a little bit of a back foot. Now maybe 2nd or 3rd prio when it comes to damage output. But the map has turned red, and when it's this down bad, the Selena has so much more to deal with, and PPP can only do so much. It's an honest tree, dude.
Yeah.
PPP can't threaten as much of a purified pop from Sanji as he used to in Game 1.
There's none of that flicker combination, you know, that we usually see with Pirates, for example. You need the Revitalize here, though, too, because if you do break out into a team fight and they try to follow through, eventually, if they can extend it, they'll have some of that back built up, especially on that front line. Because there is some potential there. Just like we saw in the previous fight with the Turtle, Felix could burn a flicker. Just find Kaize and take out that as well.
And now the
stats right now for the Suyo. Despite his changes that he's gone through, you're still reminded why he was such a threat before. Look at this. Again, lines up the Queller. Just a cool guy. You know, shoots, goes back and forth. Here's someone else now. Skypiercer and just goes back to secure the objective. And this is the problem. This team fighting.
The instant replay wasn't enough. Han does it again.
5-1-5.
The penultimate hero of the M6
ကဲ first goal လေးဝိုင်းကြီးဘက်ကစယူရင်းနဲ့ပဲ
10K almost up, Joseph.
တော့တာဝါနဲ့တိတ်မကြတော့ကြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့15မိနစ်လောက်တော့ပြတ်မယ်လို့ထင်တာပဲဗျာ
So many holy shields, and the Lord isn't even halfway through the river.
Man, it feels like the 2 days that we have.
ဘယ်လိုပြောလဲကောင်းနေငယ်နိုင်လို့ဖြစ်နေရဗျာ Royce ပေါ့တော့ငယ်နိုင်လို့ဖြစ်နေနေကြောက်ဖြစ်သွားပြီတော့ရ
In
ပြီ
terms of the meta,
2 years with
2 years even, yeah, in some cases because
အဲ့တော့တန်ပါညာဘယ်လိုလဲလောက်တော့မရဘူးတိုင်းလို့
again,
ဆူယူ
it takes the team to make it happen.
အိုးဒါပဲကြီးကြီးနော်
Soul Sever
Isai,
enough
Isai.
to bring Sariam Felix to half, but now
Selena
they
Arrow ဘာညာကလောက်ပြစ်လဲမပြတ်ဘူးတိုင်းအေးဆေးပဲကလောက်က Moscow Arrow လွဲတယ်
Yangon Galacticos can force the issue here. They choose to take the disciplined route. Now he can just cancel this. He's fine.
just throw some dragon back there.
First law လေးကတော့
Okay, they just
easily
they
ကျ
defend
ဆုံးသွား
against
တယ်
the
နော်
floor. They lose a
easy
bit of
ပါ
that
ဒါပေမဲ့
health on the turret though, but all
ဒါ
the
ပေမဲ့လေနော်
shields pretty much nearly
ဆော့
dealt
ဆော့
with
ရ
here.
အသာ
Let's
ကြီး
take
နဲ့
a quick look at the items. You can
စက်
see
တ
the
ကောင်ပုံးပါ
disparity
ဆိုတော့ဟော
across
14
the
ကပုံး
roles
ပါလား
here.
စက်တကောင်အကွာနေတော့တိုင်းတို့
Most
7 minute ဖွဲဆိုတဲ့အနေ
that
ထား
you
မှာ
have is between
easy
the
လေး
XP laners, but you know for EA,
Easy
he
လေးပဲ
has
let's
one
go
job, and that's just use that Daytona's
YG
wall
ကတော့
to take
YG
a
ပါပဲဟာလား
bunch of damage. He's already got great coverage. You know, radiant armor for that magic, chastise pauldron plus the NT caress here. He's as tanky as he pretty much needs to be to set things up around that ultimate.
Not to mention Blink, who's just about to get his flicker back.
Yep.
He can go ahead and mount, easily break through the formation, and then scramble Pro Esports. Not to mention how much gold
မောင်
he's
ပလင်း
making
ရဲ့
in
က
back
ဒူးကြီးရတယ်နော်
in good
ချစ်စီ
red.
ဟဲ့လား
Already able to be built the Cursed Helm that stacks with Eudora
ရင်းရဲ့
Superconductor.
error လည်းလှုပ်လို့မရဘူးမင်းတို့ကောင်တွေဘာလုပ်မှာဘာမှလုပ်လို့မရတော့ထိုင်ကြည့်အောင်ပဲကြည့်ရဟုတ်လား
Trying to be
ထိုင်
built
ကြည့်
up
လို့ပဲ
even
ရ
by
တော့
Pro
ညီငယ်တို့
Esports.
ညီငယ်တို့ထိုင်ကြည့်လို့ပဲရတော့
Eudora and the glue.
Yeah.
Hero damage ကဘရက်ကိုအဲ့တော့
Oh, flicker!
အိုးကောင်းရတာကွာအဲ့ဒီပလစ်ကဘာညာဘရက်ငုံရင်းနဲ့ပဲထွေးတော့တာတကောင်အပါဘယ်လာရီ
Serves up another, gets another stack, and in
Okay
comes
စလီနာချက်အပါခေါ်ရင်းနဲ့ပဲလက်မှု throw နဲ့ကိုအဲ့ဒီ case ပြပြေးလာတယ်တာယို
10th of his
အိုး
HP.
ကလောက်စပွေးဘာညာနဲ့လက်မှုပါခေါ်ရင်းနဲ့ပဲမော်စကိုထပ်ပါလာမှာအိုးမော်စကိုတော့မပေါကွာ
Finally finds
နည်းနည်းလေး
one. His first kill in
တော့
this
ရောက်ကြီး
11th
ဘရက်ကြီးရောက်ကြီးဘရက်ကြီးရဲ့လုံးဝအဲ့ဒီပလစ်ကကြီးကတော့ကျွတ်တယ်ကွာ
Pro Esports facing down 4 members of
ကဲကဲ
Yangon
နှစ်ကောင်လေးကောင်
Galacticos.
မင်းတို့ဘလို့ထိန်းပါလဲ
Their
မော်စကိုနဲ့
gold
ဟီ
laner,
ရာ
but they will still be able to take this mid base turret down.
Oh my
ကဲ
lord.
7မိနစ်မှာပဲ game ပွဲတွေပြတ်သွားမှာပြတ်တော့ပြတ်သွားပြီတာယို
The wisdom of
Yeah,
Yangon
ထွက်လာပြီဗျာ
Galacticos.
ကဲ
They could
second
have
law
forced
လေးကို
it. Any other team who's
second
this
law
close to
ဘတယ်
the
လေးကို
goal
ကြည့်ရင်းနေ
but
ပဲ
they
နော်
saw the Lord
ဘယ်လောက်
will
အ
take
ကွက်
it
ကြီး
slow.
တကယ်ကြိုက်ပါလေကွာတကယ်အကျွတ်စင်ကြီးနေလောက်ရရင်နော်
Yeah, they have to go ahead and delay this. They don't want to whiff
They
here.
don't
If they
wanna-
actually
bruh, my-
start
kinda my
this one
body,
too
the book,
much
eh?
without Sanji being up now that he's alive.
ဘရက်ဖလီကဘာညာနဲ့နော်လုံးဝအကျွတ်စင်ကြီးနေလောက်ရ
Pro
နေ
Esports
တာ
to go
ယို
ahead and steal the Lord from them. So they hold it on. It looks like despite it all, 10,000 gold deficit. Pro Esports is
Yeah.
centered around the Lord. This might be one of those cases where they just
ကျင်းကလုံးဝပွဲစားတယ်အခုချိန်ကိုကျန်းနေရနော်
Finds
မော်
the
စကို
back
တော့
line,
လည်းမော်စကိုမလို့ဟုတ်လား
forcing Soriam Felix back. Felix
Okay,
does
ayo.
oblige. Tries to
Bella
fight back
Rabu.
Sanji running away, gets knocked
ဝင်
out
ဖို့
by
ကြိုး
the
စား
Lord.
နေနေပဲဘရက်ဘာညာကာထားတယ်
Welcome, Han secures the Lord.
ကဲ second law လေးကတော့ YG နေနဲ့ရရှိသွားပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာ
Not able to stop him, and they will take
အိုး
down PPP
ဘယ်လာရက
first.
စားကန်တက်ကြီးထည့်ထားတာပါမင်းတို့က
Yang doesn't
easy ပဲ
force
လား
anything just yet.
ခလီနာအဲရိုဘာညာမိ
Yang
ထားတယ်
still
ရင်း
has that ultimate available. So taking one down, he will be back up for this defense. But Lord's already secured here from YG.
ကဲကဲ
They've
ပုံ
had
မတော့တချင်းလို့ပဲ
complete
မင်းတို့ရဲ့
control
နေရာပေါင်းကပြော
from
လိုက်
the
တော့
moment
နော်
this game
Pro
got
Esports
underway.
Some rest.
Pro Esports နေနဲ့တိုင်းလို့မရှိနိုင်တော့မရှိမှနဲ့တော့ကွာညီငယ်လေးတို့ညာပြင်မဲနေပြင်မဲနေ
Almost max stacks on Han. That's not it. What I'm trying to say is, Pro has come back from worse.
Yeah.
If you remember their clincher in the group
ကဲ
stage.
game 1လေးက level AC လေးနဲ့ပဲလိုက်လို့ဘွဲရတိတ်တော့မမြိုင်ဖြစ်နေတယ်ညာ
Moment to try and get into the knockout.
ဘရက်ရဲ့လုံးဝအဝင်အထွက်ကြီးကအမှန်ကြီးကကနောက်စပစ်ဘာညာနှစ်ကောင်ပါခေါ်ရင်းနဲ့ပဲဘယ်လောက်လဲမှထပ်သွားခေါ်သွားမလားမော်စကိုပြန်ပတ်ထားတယ်
Not sure if
ခလီ
they
နာ
can,
အဲရို
and
ဘာ
they
ညာမိ
still
နေ
have
နေပဲ
more to deal with here, and
ကဲ
it's a
နောက်ဆုံး
fully
drone
stacked
လေးနဲ့ပဲ
on.
ဒီတော့နဲ့
9-1 and
စကန်တော့လေးနဲ့ချိုးသွားမလား
From all
ဆိုတာကတော့
directions, PPP falls. Sanji
ဆိုတာ
takes him
ကတော့
down.
တိုင်းတို့
Lord underneath the base. Down goes Kozen.
တိုင်းတို့အားရသုံးလေးပါဝါ
Yangon Galacticos at match.
ဟိုးဂလူးခွာချက်ကြီးရ
A
နော်
little bit longer.
ဂလူးခွာချက်ကြီးက
But
သုံးလေး
still,
ခွာတာနော်
nonetheless,
တိုင်း
the
တို့
same result.
Easy,
Yangon
easy,
Galacticos
easy, easy, like
just
that.
dominated in game 2 like they did in game 1. And they're pulling heroes
ကြိုက်
that
တော့
we're not
ရင်
used
ပဲ
to
ကွာဒီ
seeing
စီ
in
နေ
the
တစ်ချောင်းမှာ
past
ရင်
couple
တော်တော်ကြိုက်နေပြီ
months,
တိုင်း
but it's
ကျင်းရဲ့
all
playlist တွေကဆောင်းရွက်ကျွတ်တယ်
executed so well from Yangon
တကယ်
Galacticos.
ကောင်းတဲ့ရင်လေးပါ
They
နော်
dismantled what Pro understood of the metagame.
Yeah.
Piece for piece, row for row, lane for lane.
nice ဝိုင်းကြီးတဲ့အဲ့လိုဝိုင်းကြီးကတော့ဝိုင်းကြီးပါပဲဟာလား
To a place in the metagame that all of us thought was dead and gone. Utility junglers, Suyo in the jungle against what? Meta stars such as
Again, one of the most impressive things about Yangon trip here to qualify for MSC was just how adaptable, how versatile their draft was, the coaching staff behind them to go ahead and secure these kind of drafts that this executed this way, and the way that they play around each other makes it almost seem easy the way that they're doing it. But it's, again, one of their strengths and one of the difficult things when you're their opponent. How do you draft against that? Because even if you have some of these picks that you might not think come through, and it's executed in this manner, that's really difficult to play against.
I think our panel will dissect a little more from the minute to minute, because the early game went sideways. I think that was a big cannon moment in this match.
Let's go ahead and throw it over to the panel to break down the game two. This was another strong one.
Clear ရိုက်ရင်းနဲ့ပဲခေဝန်းလေးကတိုင်းလက်မြောက်ကိုပြီးတိုင်းလက်မြောက်ကိုပြီးတော့သဘောပေါက်လား
right now in MLBB, and I'll give you 3 words to describe it: clean, concise, and for esports, Kurt. He's had enough in long games. They have not been games that have been enjoyed by any pro esports fan, and it's because YG just looked.
This grand massacre is not born of hatred.
ဘာမှယူကြရတယ်မရှိတော့ဘာမှဖောက်ကြရတယ်မရှိတော့နော်ဆိုတော့ Starlight ကလေးတော့ဖောက်ကြည့်နိုင်မယ်ဒိုင်းမွန်20က weekly ကဘာညာရတာဆို Starlight ကဖောက်အောင်ရတော့ပါဗျဒိုင်းမွန်တော်တော်ကုန်နေပြီမာကြီးကျွန်တော်ပြအောင်ဒါဘယ်တော့လဲဝိုင်း26ရောင်းလဲဝိုင်းဒိုင်းမွန်260လဲဝိုင်းသဘောပေါက်လားအဲ့တော့မထူးတော့ဘူးအဲ့တော့ match မအောင် sorry ပြောလက်ရတော့မှာပဲပေါက်သွားရင်တော့ဘယ်လိုမျိုးတန်တယ်ဗျမပေါက်ဘူးတိုင်းမပေါက်ဘူးလူလုံးနေတယ်လို့ပဲလူလုံးနေတယ်လို့ပါပဲခင်ဗျာခဲ့ပါလေဂိမ်းထဲမှာထွေထူးလောက်ကြမရှိဘူးဆိုတော့ဒီကောင်လေးအာလူဖုတ်တာပဲကျွန်တော်အေးဆေးလေးထိုင်ကြည့်နိုင်မယ်နော်
with. Now it's 5 times that YG have played Barats and won. So you do not want to let them through. But you know, earlier on I mentioned Uranus. That's a
gain view higher lead
there. So maybe again having to look at the draft for pro esports.
Yeah, it seems like just when they think that they've come up with an answer to something or an answer that's yet to show up for a question that's yet to be asked. As Mergo mentioned, Yangon already knows like, no, we're already at that point. We're already at the second phase of the draft. Just when you started, it's rare to see Barracks get picked up this early on, but this might be something that other teams might look into now, considering that for 2 games, one of the most iconic EXP laners in Cambodia in Soriam Felix got 2 very aggressive picks. Got the Yuzhong, now got the Lapu Lapu. He hasn't made his presence felt enough here, and that's not his fault. It's because Yangon keep drafting lineups and heroes that effectively take Soriam Felix out of the fight.
Mirko, how would you
it's such a dang show me that
right now? I mean, it's very, very difficult for me to draft against YG. I don't know how we draft against YG, man. But for pro, they should already have an answer, not to this, but to adapt. It really just feels like for me, I mean, you can see the expressions as well, Cat God, that they're stuck in the group stage. Yeah. They're still stuck in the group stage. They're still going for picks that are prio in the group stage, even picking up the Selena, the Belleric here after seeing the Eudora and the Barats early on. They really are stuck there. They're really stuck with the same picks, and they didn't evolve. We saw the last 2 days. I mean, we had a break. Yeah. These teams should have been already kind of like trying to find the new answers. And I feel like YG, they paid attention a lot to that game of TLPH against Entity 7 and how Entity 7 were able to outdraft TLPH in game number 2, because the Barats flex was something I pointed out as well when I did my analysis on that matchup, right? The Barats was picked up red 4 by Entity 7 against TLPH. We saw the Uranus pick up then by Sanford, and it just cooked them because it was flexed in. So here they utilized that idea, but all the way in the early game or all the way in the first phase after seeing the Uranus pan.
Yeah. And to add to that, they added the glue to it. So now that's even more layers of like, oh, who's going where?
And that combo is devastating. I think even for pro, they were caught off guard because the Eudora second skill, you get a little bit of magic defense shred. Yes. You add a roamer with magic damage, the glue, and my goodness gracious, you saw how much damage they dealt. That's why. That's the reason.
I mean, the other thing is Kaize early on. I mean, 4 kills from mid for Eudora. You cannot let that happen.
Yeah, that just really goes to show that the mid laner is reading the opposing team so well.
Yeah.
When a mid laner gets that much kills, I know it's a Eudora. I know how easy it could be to get kills into Eudora really quickly, especially once you get that first item. But with how he was moving in the map, the specific positions he was getting into the bush, the timings of it all really showed that he did his homework. He's like, I know he's here. I know he's gonna be here.
For me, it's also the response to it. You see the Eudora, you pick up the Selena, makes sense, but then together with the Belleric, it's just like, usually when you go for the Selena, you need that mid-prio. You need someone to actually help enable the Selena to rotate around the map to find these picks and arrows, right? Or to lay down traps. Just a very core fundamental of the Selena. You control the map by clearing out mid, and then you go also with the tempo to control the neutral objective. Now this game, I see a massive disconnect. Selena goes for the Season Hunter, right? We take a look at it again here. They go for the Lapu Lapu up top there, instead of something that can guarantee tempo. Again, it would have been bursted down, but something like an Esmeralda, right? The Uranus early that was banned out by themselves as well, and no mid-prio. So what was the idea of the Selena at the end with the Season Hunter if you couldn't burst the neutral objectives, or you can't even get to the neutral objectives first?
It's been 2 drafts in a row where they've drafted their EXP laner for Saurium Felix last. And that is maybe something they need to look at, Mirko, because there's an element to the draft, but as we'll have time to talk about that, before we go on a quick break, I want to just raise this question. Is this now an element of the mental? Because you've just lost another set. If we're in group stages, you've just lost again to YG. Now you got one more game, but it's like, geez, can we get over this hill?
Yeah, for teams that love momentum, that love to be the one setting the tempo, this is going to be a big mental hit. I don't doubt that the coaches are going to quickly get them back into shape. Again, I mean, they had to crawl to win the Grand Finals in MPL Cambodia Season 10 as well, but it will be difficult.
Yeah, they're gonna have to run. They can't just crawl back here. Yangon Galacticos, if you crawl in front of them, it does seem like they're just gonna stomp you down, bro.
Watch out there with that Barat's pick being let through. By the way, if you guys want to be a part of streaming this action, get your opinions in, you're listening to us, well, you can share them by joining the EWC Streaming Creator Program. You might be able to earn dope prizes. I know we've been seeing people stream on our side. Mirko's going live in the bus. We're having chats, and he's earning prizes. So make sure you scan that QR code and join. You might just be able to earn some cool gifts, but also get your voice said. Maybe make a clip. Be a part of this tournament where so many people are coming live and watching online. We appreciate you guys. On the backside of this, we will have Game 3. It may be the final game of our first set of the day, or it could be the start of Pro Esports Return. Either way, we want to let you know there's something cool coming in Acecraft. If you haven't played in a minute, there's co-op in a new mode called We Fly Together.
A lot of people are haunted by their past. I'm inspired by it.
They're not just playing for themselves, they're really playing for their entire family.
They have defeated their demons! They have crushed the curse! He thinks he can come in here and play my game! Let's go. He knows nothing! Let's go!
Tyler 1, you're done.
Raw energy, half from blow the house down! This ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights, better get right, champion.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now, the proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming, shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
Well, Yangon Galacticos have started out with two, I don't even want to say easy, but I will say complete games. We'll add another C word there for how they've approached pro esports. They've gotten the better end of the draft and then quickly thereafter gotten the better end of the game, gentlemen. Renmar, Mirko, back with myself, Rainda, here on the desk to break down what can they do. I raised the question to you, Mirko. I'll raise it to Renmar to kick us off. How do you draft against YG?
Maybe hire some mind readers at this point? I don't know.
Fortune teller?
Yeah, there's something that Yangon Galacticos is doing or how they prep for this. You can see that there's always an anchor point in their draft. Whether it's a ban, whether it's a specific pick, there's always just one thing that's just throwing a wrench every time towards the plans that pro esports has that they just overlook.
And it's also just, man, you can't let those heroes go either. I mean, we can talk about, okay, maybe you should leave the Phoveus open. No.
You can't.
No. Maybe you can leave, what was the last ban for them? The Atlas open. It's like, nope. No, I don't think so either. So at the end of the day, they're just going to have to deal with it through outplaying their opponents. So now I'd say focus on your own game, right? Instead of trying to go for just meta picks or trying to deny even YG's picks from game one, play your style of MLBB, all right? Build around what your strength is. And right now, for me, it's Coily on Assassins and everybody else on winning matchups. So get that first.
Yeah, okay. So they were already able to tick the Coily on Assassin box earlier. So maybe does that mean you pick up your pick for Soriam Felix earlier? Because Rainday did point out earlier that means that Soriam Felix was getting his picks always picked last now for 2 games in a row.
Which is like not Lapu Lapu, bro. I mean, you're seeing the Barats, you're seeing all those picks, right? I was thinking maybe you could go for something like an Alice as well. Early on, dealing with the glue as well. So there's so many answers. It's just don't panic. Don't overthink. Think of the easiest answer first, right?
Yeah.
Easy's better, bro.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Crowd control, damage. Obviously, they're building around a lot of different things. You can understand PP also going onto the Beleric because he's had such good games with them. But the way that their draft is complementing each other, there's something missing. YG have had every single time good laning phases and then good team fights that were threatening. Herrera coming out early for pro, but these bans,
pretty much the same.
They take away the Zushin though.
Oh yeah.
So they don't get counter with that in mid, with which set up the Guinevere and a lot of other things.
Yeah. They pick up the Herrera for themselves. We're in dangerous grass again. So it looks like pro esports are going to try and see if they could just remix to a much better ending for them. The draft from game number 2. Yangon still picking up the Eudora. And instead of going for the Beleric rush, which I feel like Yangon is thinking is the pick now that pro esports is looking into, they pick up instead of the Barrett's rush, excuse me, they pick up the Beleric. And then now here comes Pro. They get their power picks onto Kozin. They get the Harith. He's played 5 games with it and has won 4. They pick up the Uranus, which again solves a lot of their problems. But the Esmeralda's still open. Yangon says, no, we're feeling it. We're picking up the Fanny.
It's just so all good. Again, for Yangon Galacticos, they saw the UNS ban in game number 2, right? The UNS ban with the Phoveus and the Atlas. Then that's the reason they went for the Barat super early. Even if you countered it, it's going to be flex anyways, but even if you countered it, it won't be a crazy counter like the Uranus. This time around, they go Beleric, Eudora, the easy route, and then they see the Uranus on the other side. They don't bite on the Barats then. They just go for the Fanny because there's no lockdown heroes. Now they get rid of those heroes. The Cho, taken out already.
Yeah, with pro esports, they're slowly running out of options really to have answers for this Fanny unless they can swing out with a Badang in the roam. It seems like that might be their last best option for it.
They can still pull off something crazy like a Dairoth with a Fanny up top, the Uranus against a Dairoth, right? It's not something that I would, go for usually, but if they really just want to snowball and if they think they already kind of mentally destroyed their opponents from the last 2 games.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of CC and there's someone to capitalize on it right there. So you see the game plan. This, I feel that they're just getting the people who need to do well, from Kozin to Soriam Felix, to Han. I mean, I feel like to counter this Assassin matchup, you do need something strong, and Coily needs that Herrera. So at this point, do you feel that this is a better draft, at least a better attempt?
For pro esports?
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. I mean, We asked for them to get their Sorry I'm Felix hero much earlier. They get Coily and Assassin. They get the power pick into Kozen's hand. Now they can just adjust for row mid. I feel like the previous drafts, they were looking at row mid way too early and then now decided, okay, let's switch it up. Let's get side lane prio and then we adjust our row mid later.
I like that Selena ban too, right? This time they have the prio on Uranus. Tempo advantage for sure and XP guaranteed. So it could work as long as they get, again, tempo in mid with the Hirara.
Yeah. Don't you think Pro might need to ban out an Alice here?
They might.
Yeah.
I think it's a very, very good combination. It's someone that can actually deal with the Uranus as well.
That Alice gets let through.
We've seen the Ruby picked up, also from YG.
Ooh, they get gold lane bans instead. So they really want to get a better matchup at gold.
Yeah, again, they're just trying to win those matchups. Hirara pick and then winning those matchups individually. So I like the approach from Pro already. Much better than game 1, game 2, but yeah, I completely forgot about that pick. My favorite pick as well. Melissa. Oh, God.
And it's tough because if you go for something like Vexana, you're just going to get eaten up. Now they're forced to play the Valentina, but you have no more reach. Whoa. You go for the Badang as expected, but they cannot reach this Melissa.
No, they cannot.
So that could be a win condition there. YG
Alice.
again.
Yeah.
Just close it out with an Alice or maybe even a Glue. Not really. No, I'd prefer the Alice.
If they're feeling feisty, the Sora, technically, there's already the Valentina, but it's going to be mid, right?
Yeah.
Final pick from YG.
I wonder if YG are already thinking that they've won this and they're taking their sweet time with the last pick.
I think so. I think they're trying to find the pick to go and, you know, put the nail in the coffin.
They found it. They found it.
Ruby.
It's the
you
Ruby.
called it.
You called it. Good, great call, Rain Day. Okay. The anti-dash, the pull, they have the combo. A lot of stopping power for the Melissa. This is all in the Melissa. But again, they still have the Eudora. They could easily snowball early on. The Fanny. Theoretically, this looks perfect for Yangon. But if any major slip-ups happen early, then Pro has a chance, which is tough because you're begging your opponents to make a mistake.
Drafts have gotten better each game for Pro Esports, but it doesn't have one more game to go. If you don't get the job done here, you're going home. Your key is crushed at MSC. It's time for YG to either move on into the semifinals or Pro Esports is going to push us to another game in this best of 5. Let's send it back over to Naisu and Leo to kick us off.
Here we go. It's gotta happen here for Pro Esports. Yangon Galacticos back-to-back dominant games, but will this draft work this time to get us to another game and get Pro Esports one step closer to moving forward? Or will the key get crushed after this one? Yangon Galacticos, Leo, has been so good, so on point. This draft, though, I wouldn't say is as, let's say, guaranteed as the last 2 games.
There's a lot that they're trying here, especially when they threw the Ruby into Ying's hands. Blink bullying a PPP out of the mid prio. If there is something I might say is Pro, especially at this precipice, at this pivot point in this match, they're putting it all on Coily and Kozen. They put the comfort picks, the Hirara and the Harith on these 2 players, these imports from the Philippines, to try and turn it around. Stroke of genius what they did though, especially with picking the Valentina in mid.
Yeah.
Kind of blocked out Ying Sora.
Yeah, that dealt with it, but I still think that even Ying picking up the Ruby here, you know, it serves the purpose of, you just have this crazy amount of crowd control that it can help you catch the Hirara if you need to, it can help you catch Kozen if you need to.
Reliable damage too.
Yep, damage, but he also is a way to pop a Purify for Kozen. And you gotta remember too, Kozen, this is a signature comfort pick for him. If I remember correctly, this is, I think it's Kozen on the Harith that has the most kills in one game.
Him or Coily. Now they're putting so much pressure. Sorry, I'm Felix. Han draws first blood.
Oh, that's tough, man. Again, you do not want to let these early kills, these early first bloods go in the hands of the likes of Han on a Fanny, mind you. You know, to go ahead and just snowball much quicker. And every time a Fanny's in play, you know that you want to go ahead and just kind of put some pressure on that jungle, especially the purple buff, try to stall her out a little bit, but you get this kind of lead. Could be really bad, but first turtle that comes up, they've got the space to work with. Ying's got the level 4. Kaise still trying to go ahead and cap it out here just because, again, once he gets that ultimate, that combo is so deadly.
And he will. Yangon Galacticos are in such a dominant position for this first turtle. Blink flushes PPP out of that pixel brush. Sa has the Wrath of Dryads, but I don't think that's the best ult to have right now, especially when you're a soft little Valentina at the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, you don't want to just put yourself in that position, but they'll really take it slow here. Bit of a reset. Han goes back to base, wants to get his purple buff, so maybe they just trade it out. Maybe they decide they don't want to. Really good decision here, though, from Pro Esports to just see that window of opportunity, take it. At least it's something for them. So again, turtle in the hands of Pro Esports. They'll kind of just recalibrate, slow things down a bit. Even with this, again, knowing that you have a Harith in the hands of Kozin, you need to go ahead and allow him to stay alive, build up on there. Melissa's too. You know, there's a reason now. We've seen her pop up a couple times throughout the past group stage days, and she can be pretty deadly when she hits that power spike.
Impressive, staying the hand for Yangon Galacticos, but Pro Esports knew what Yangon was doing, and they got in there and got the advantage, which is good, because again, oh my lord, Soren Felix popping that consecration last second. They're waiting for Kozin's mid-game power spike.
Yeah, it's interesting though that there's so much attention up there. You would think, you know, on the Uranus up there in the XP lane for Sarion Felix.
Whoa, Kaiser coming in, but PPP stops the exit. Now here comes the Wrath of the Dryad as PPP gets taken down. Han and Blink walk away.
Okay, a trade. Oh wait, there's still putting potential up there.
Han walks to the wall. Ying to the rescue. Coily Retribution. That's a steal on a small camp.
All right, that's what Coily needed to do. You can see he's slowly building up a bit of a XP lead also against Han. Even though Han had those early kills, it's just some of his camp's been taken away from him. They've really done a good job. Pro Esports has done a great job of just kind of choosing their fights and slowing down a bit. They're able to catch out Kaise again. This is one of the great things about having that Bedang in the roam in the hands of P. He can actually just kind of take them for a surprise, whether he uses a flicker or not, to set things up for a potential kill. You just have to be able to go ahead and survive once Blink literally comes forward and Wrath the Dryads, like we just saw. And, you know, that's why also when you look at what Sa has been taking, he's got his own, right? I'm not sure if he's really going to change anything other than just having the Wrath of the Dryad for him.
It sounds like the perfect Rochambeau, because right in the middle is Sa, who is relying on what ult he gets. Right now, 2v1, Soria Felix! Pops a consecration one more time underneath the turret. Not going to be safe here as 3 of them go for it. They had to send Kaiser up too, but this opens up another turtle for Pro.
Pro's willing to trade, man. You know, if it's Sarion Felix going down, I don't think that's too bad for Pro Esports.
No.
Right? He's just the Uranus. He's going to go ahead and deal with some pressure. As long as his team is trading something for it somewhere else, which happens to be now the second turtle, then that's all good.
Hey, you want to make some omelets, you've got to crack some eggs.
Got to crack some eggs.
And in this situation, Sarion Felix is the egg.
That's a big egg, man. But
hard to open.
He eventually, though, too, even though he's died a couple times, he'll be tanky enough to be that front line for this team, for sure.
Buying time now inside the left side bush. Ying gets found out. Coily traded out for. Making that a 2-for-1 as Han finds a double. P falls as well. I don't even know who really started that fight, but at the end of the day, I think Pro have lost the lead that they've built up over the past 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think they both just saw each other and like, you know what, let's fight. Because that's exactly what they did. Let's take a look at the replay. Again, this is all, they're all centered around here. You can just see that double basically Wrath of Dryads being set up, but the problem is because you're fighting in that little choke point and you've got the walls to work with, Han kind of gets that upper hand where he can just kind of cable back and forth.
Like Spider-Man.
Hey, go see it while you can.
Han picks up the Malefic Roar now. A lot of damage coming through, so it's not Sanji time just yet.
Yeah.
Nor is Kaise going as hard as he was in game number 2. So we're expecting Han to be the real punisher this early on. Especially since Pro has lost that, you know, big 1,000 gold lead they had in the 5-minute mark. Oh, big wall put up. Blink gets caught. He answers with a Wrath of the Dryad. Han comes in! Cutthroat finds B! Serves up a kill to Kaise.
Okay, flicker burn from Kaise. Again, really good counterpunch there from YG. Pro Esports has to choose these fights a little bit better, but they can start to go ahead and rely on this. Oh, Kozin.
Uh-oh. He drops that Salmon Force.
Oh, the cable.
Han, maybe one more enhanced basic attack would have taken down the Fanny midair.
They popped the Purify from Kozin. Kozin is going to be that guy for Pro Esports once he scales into this Harith. This third turtle, though, being worked on by Yangon Galacticos. Most likely will go in their hands unless a Conceal's already used. They're going to fight for it.
Drop in Muddles, Ying skewers. There's the Wrath of the Dryad coming down.
Oh,
and the lineup on Pro Esports are compromised, but Young Galacticos lost a little too much health. it's Pro's going to be making themselves scarce for now.
Yep, turtle secure though by YG. So they fought for it. There was an attempt there from Pro. Pro's still in a good position though, even though they lose that turtle. It looks like they had a hard time with that team fight, but they're still in a really good position to go into that first Lord. That's really where it's going to matter. You can also see gold lane, right? There's a bit of an advantage for Kozin. He had a really good time in the laning phase, has about a 700 gold lead. He's already got the Starlium Scythe worked in, and that's why, you know, imagine one item locked in for that Harith. You're already seeing the damage potential that he can have in these fights.
And he's on his way to the feather. There you go. So even more, that little moment here in that mid lane, even with that Purify pop, again, he already has that passive resilience coming in, about 30% less he'll take from, you know, the little stuns on Ying or Wrath of the Dryads. This is that mid-game power spike we're looking for coming in from Pro.
And Sa has been pretty good with the Wrath of the Dryad usage. That's one of the things here. Sorry, Felix, man. They're going for the eggs again.
Yep, this is what he's meant to do. Pops that Purify, Consecration as well, buys maybe 2 seconds, but will not stop Yangon from pushing this tier 1 down bottom. But it's not like Coily hasn't been doing work as well. Look at that chubby wave he sent up. And now Sanji gets found out! Why would you take that weird exit?
I'm not sure. Really good choice there from Pro. Yeah, they lost Sari and Felix again for the 3rd time, but they were able to capitalize a kill on the gold laner of YG, but they also put some pressure on some of these turrets. They want to start to open up the map a little bit here, just because, again, that Lord's coming up in about 15. You need some space to work with. And some of these off angles is what they can really hone in on and highlight here. Again, having that Bedang, having Sa and the Valentina with the Wrath of the Dryad, with the Flicker available, there's some surprise setups that Pro Esports can play around. So now that Lord is up, we'll see who decides to get in range for this. Coily been very elusive so far in the Herara, able to kind of just utilize these extra brushes across the map, the mobility obviously that comes with it, and then that scalability here built in. So Sari and Felix needed that Radiant Armor. He's got it locked in now. So again, despite all the pressure he's dealt with, his one job is pretty much to be that front line, that bulwark. So it gives P that option too, to go in with this Bedang to set things up. So very slow in this Lord take. I don't expect anyone to take it just yet, as both teams still look to find some opening, some real estate across the map.
Well, I'll be damned. In late July 2026, a dance has been begun, but no, they pick PP off first. And now Coily looking for more. Han picks off Kozin. That's 2 men down from Pro. This is a non-starter. The Cambodian squad has to back off. Suddenly, Yangon Galacticos have all but secured themselves a Lord. Sari and Felix looking to come in from the flank. Coily takes a few hits from Sanji. Lord here at a 16th of its health within Retribution range. Han, all he has to do is Retribution now. Yangon Galacticos takes the Lord.
Wow, again, Yangon Galacticos showing their fighting prowess here in these team fights. I was thinking they'd slow it down enough, but again, when you have a Ruby and Ying can just say, you know what, let's go. And he makes it happen again, going in with an I'm offended. Even if it's a tankier member for Pro Esports, they don't care. It's a pull, they can crash down, get a numbers advantage, and that's what happened there in that team fight. So now, Lord in their favor, Yangon Galacticos looking to take down some tier 2s.
Despite all we've been saying about Kozin's mid-game power spike, or Coily getting in there, dealing damage, he still doesn't have any stacks on his Sky Piercer. Yep. If anything, P is the most important utility in Pro's team fighting kit. He needs to catch someone. At best, if it's Han, if he can compromise Sanji, but that's how they start fights. No way other can they start anything.
And I think that's why that Melissa pick was really good too. You know, you get that ultimate, that go away from me. You're able to kind of buy some space with it. Good dodge there. Not getting pulled from Ying's I'm offended. But the Lord is still here. So now they've got to respond to this. They are just most likely, I don't expect them to approach the base yet, because Yangon Galacticos is still really respecting what Pro Esports' lineup can do. So at most, they take down some tier 2s.
He comes in, finds it, does force Han to back up, but he will fall now. One more for Han. And I think P is getting a little impatient. I'm not so sure how well they coordinated that whole ambush.
Yeah, it just didn't seem like they were ready to follow through on that. And now, again, this Bedang, it serves a purpose. There's a reason why it's there. Oh no, tier 2.
Coily! iframe to survive, but in comes Blink. Flicker after the Dryad, fights too, Sa falls as well. And now it's all falling apart. 3 members down for the count. But YG has no wave, so Pro can thank their lucky stars. Felix so close.
So close, but again, This is about all Yangon Galacticos can take off of that push. They'll take down, open up the map, take down the tier 2 turrets. But you're seeing just how much of a struggle it is for Pro Esports even to find an advantage when it comes to a team fight. It's so crucial. Oh, whoa.
Kozen! Dropped the Zaman Force, gets a few shields.
Zaman Force down, though.
Pushing Han back, yes. This is what, a good 20 seconds before Kozen can punish anyone from pushing too deep, but they've already lost their top lane inhibitor. Permanent damage onto the base. Blink with a rather dry to himself. Sanji wailing away. P! He's gonna fall once more! He does get the wall up, but where's the damage? There's the Zaman Force. Kozen looking to deal a lot of damage. Han might get compromised here. Down on 10th of his health. Kozen doing his darkness, and Coily finds a shutdown. Pro loses just one.
I didn't expect the fight to break out there, but Pro Esports decided to go for it anyway. They thought they were able to catch Blink, but instead there was a counter punch from YG. Although they didn't lose too much, some battle spells were expended on both sides.
That's about as fruitful as it can get for Pro right now.
Yeah.
That turret was going to fall either ways. The fact that they can get a trade out, especially for a roamer in exchange for the mid laner, that's a good deal. That'll help at least stop the bleeding.
Yeah, it's not bad. But again, the Purify is down currently for Kozen. You know, he's got, like we said, he's got the items he needs. You can already see that damage potential, but it's more so being able to survive a fight. Almost all the fights we've seen so far, it's just been a numbers advantage for Yangon Galacticos, because usually it's PP just going down very quickly when he tries to set things up.
Whoa, there's the stolen ult, already spent up, but now Kozen dashing around. He's in the right position. Down goes Zeke, but underneath the Lord, Sanji throws out a needle, takes him down. Now, Saurian Felix bites it as well. 2 for 1 the trade. And this all but spells another sure Lord for Yangon Galacticos.
Oh, again, Pro Esports, just the team fighting is not it right now throughout this series. Even Kozen taking a big shot from the Lord there. You know, he didn't have much room to work with, but he's still got to get up in time for this defense if he can. 10 seconds left on his timer. Mid-turret will go down. They've got some time to walk down this last wave, this bottom wave, to potentially take out the last base turret. So YG will go for a reset. They'll march this one in, walk it down. Saurian Felix will be back up. They've got nearly all the battle spells that they need here. But same thing for the other side for YG. P doesn't have a flicker, and you know, with the Badang, that's one of the main things that he needs to kind of set things up. So far, just all these setups, man, have not worked.
Okay, fortunately, they are in dangerous grass, so he can find these odd angles. All right, he will be put down about half health. Lord already inside the base.
Got to deal with that Lord.
Pro Esports has to do this very, very carefully. Lord down about half. Kozen still has a Purify. They drop all the damage. Down goes Sa. Another base up next. Kozen doing his darndest to clear the waves and deal a lot of damage.
They clear the Lord.
And they do clear the Lord, but there's still a wave coming in through mid. And just like that, Yangon Galacticos remain undefeated. Vicious win. A sweep in the quarters.
Yangon Galacticos was not joking around throughout this series. Maybe in game 3 took him a little bit longer, but it just repeats itself time after time after time. 3 dominant games against Pro Esports here. Again, taking even drafts that we're not used to seeing just a couple days ago. Shades of it. Things that worked, things that didn't, they readjusted, refined. And I'll tell you what, Yangon Galacticos looks like a big threat moving forward.
In every single game, they've managed to dissect Pro Esports' play, denying Coily and Kozen that bloodthirsty play style. They have thrown us back to the heyday of utility jungles. I was gonna say mid-game here, I can't believe it. We were Lord dancing again.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen that Lord dance. We've seen a bit of it here and there, but maybe that's a premonition for what we're gonna see here in the knockouts. You know, and they knew the weak points of the lineup that Pro Esports brought to Game 3. They really honed in on it. At the start, it was Saurian Felix. They went with fighting for fighting. They utilized that Ruby pick, the last pick they brought to the draft that even Rain Day called. You know, again, playing around this potential to pull whoever you want to fight to collapse down on. And it's that Eudora, again, for Kaise, man. He's been coming in clutch throughout the series. And Han showcasing. I mean, look at this, 7-0-5 on that Fanny. What a hell of a series that Han has had, going from utility to assassin. And just an amazing series. We're going to have to throw it over on stage with Milosh to hear from our winners.
Thank you very much, my friends. It is done. Our first semi-finalist is qualified. It's Yangdong Galacticos. Ying is joining us for a quick interview here between us. So please.